page for a video 2 years ago.
No, they'll do that. They'll
I
go
ain't
on.
say nothing. All I said, all I was doing, and I didn't.
All you gotta do is tell the truth.
Yeah,
That's what it comes down to. All you really need to do is just tell the truth, and that's enough for them to
pull the plug.
Pull a plug on your video.
Yeah, you found my video like 4 years.
No, get this. Yeah, me and Nazaki went live together on different pages. They both took both our page down for different reasons.
Wow.
And when we first,
well, the truth was really hurting them.
I said something about some violence, and when I looked up it, I'm like, how is it violent when I'm talking about how y'all genocide our people and do the wrong?
What's violent is basically right Christian extremism.
Yep.
That's what's violent. Right.
Yeah.
You know, what was that senator's name that represented it?
Oh,
Bass.
Shalom, brother.
Senator
Bass.
Bass.
About you yesterday, brother.
That's a car.
It's like, where's my brother?
Damn.
Zebulon, brother.
Zebulon, man. You messing it up.
I mean, it's
Hey, Judah should not vex Ephraim, right? Your ass tweaking, Johnny.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I'm trying to slip the king.
he lived in Cicero, man.
Same thing.
Hell no. Your ass.
All right, go ahead and hit it, brother. It should be good.
It's not really eyes closed.
Good to see you, brother.
All
right.
Yeah, flip right. All right.
It's kind of crooked too.
Yeah, that's the story of my life.
All right, you good? All right. All right, shalom. We're the brothers of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, and first and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that is doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people here on earth above all other nations, all other governments, by who the world fraudulently calls JC. His name is Yahushai. Always was, always will be. And to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations, that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing. All right, and to the few Akwaf, the sisters that are listening and learning, we say shalom, and do not get it twisted. The Israelites do primarily make up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans inside of Babylon, here in America. All right, so there's a video that's on the internet right now on Jimmy Dore's channel. And basically it's Jeff Bezos complaining about that he knows. He's complaining about his fear of the rebellion of the citizens of America. And the Edomites and Jake and the rest of the heathen, a lot of them are at that breaking point. And the elites know this. This is why, the Kardashians and all these rich people, all these, what's his name, Post Malone, someone can look that up. All these American elites who have these bunkers and things like that. And I even heard one guy say it. Things are gonna get so bad, all the security I hired is gonna turn on me. Yeah, I said it first. Because you done built up this bunker. Somebody get Isaiah 21:15, by the way. You done built up all these bunkers and stuff. And that Acme company, just like in the cartoons, built all these bunkers. They got all the receipts, the blueprint, the secret interest, and they know every damn thing. So when ain't shit left, we've told you there's going to be two sets of guys out there. The guys who stack food to the rafters for 10, 15 years, and all matter of things to help them get through that time, built theaters and swimming pools and all this stuff underground. And then you got the guys who have the blueprints, all right, who are heavily armed, who know exactly how to get in there and come and live off your shit. And he's true. Some of your the same people that you hired to protect you are gonna be the same ones having their way with your wife and your daughter eating all your food. Okay? If you think that's not gonna happen. Somebody get that scripture.
This Isaiah 21:15.
You want it 29:15. Decide this council.
brother.
You got it?
Yeah, I got you. This is Isaiah 29:15. It says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their accounts from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us and who knoweth us?"
Yeah, because Jeff Bezos knows what he's doing. All right, and he's doing a lot of wrong. You know, and I heard that there's 100% turnover at Amazon. In the same broadcast that I'm talking about, to show you how they don't care. They don't care if you leave. They know people are desperate and need jobs, and so it's 100% turnover. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone that goes to work for Amazon, it's literally is a temporary thing. 100% turnover. Then they also told a story on there where someone died. All right, and what Amazon did, they died on the floor. What they did was they covered the person with boxes so it wouldn't affect the other workers.
Damn.
So the workers wouldn't see him, because you know you got this dead motherfucker laying here. You're like, hey, John, what the fuck is you trying to work, and it's a dead dude. So they covered him up with boxes.
Damn.
So people just kept working because they didn't see him. And then you know what they did? Show you how cold-blooded they are. All right, and he talking about giving people a livable wage and all this shit. Look what he's doing to get wealthy. See, he knows that his wickedness is gonna come back on him. But what they did when this nigga died, they made sure they clock him out.
Wow.
Esau, right? They double tapped his ass.
Clocked out.
He said, well, because he's right, because I don't want to have to give his family his last check. Cut his shit right now.
Man.
Because, we done hit him in boxes. He's still at work for 8 hours. So that, so in between shifts, they can come in and have the crew come scoop him up. So they would, hey, go clock him out.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
James 2
That's some cold-blooded shit, bro.
That's ridiculous.
James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
Right, so Esau deserved everything that he got coming to him, man. You covered this man's body with boxes. You know how angry I would be? And that's why, and this Edomites are starting to act up, and lash out now. This is the beginning of, and I've been getting all these news reports. It's been just some crazy, weird-ass deaths happening, random weird shit. And, and then that Edomite that supposedly ran up on, ran toward the White House with her. That actually sounds more realistic to something that will really happen. Someone who have no plan, they just lose it and just, jump out their car and charge. Versus someone who's going to take the time to write a letter and leave notes everywhere, all that other bullshit. All right, people who just lose it. You had a situation that just happened where 2 lawyers got put to death outside of a courthouse, and it turns out that it was a Jake woman trying to get some sort of benefits for her mother who was sick, and they denied her the benefits, and her mother died. So mourning for her mother, she lost it. So she went to the courthouse. And she waited for them to come outside, and she let both their ass have it.
Damn.
She was like Peanut the puppet with her 38. Right? And she rolled up on them.
That spirit of vengeance going out.
Yes.
I was just saying, popping up on my feed. Cops been ambushed and shit.
Yeah.
One dude was like, they came to his crib like, come here. He like told him, come here. Then up the blick on him, pop their ass. So he made sure he had an emergency.
Damn. That's the shit that they kind of tried to tone that down, because the Miscarite gangbangers was doing that shit out in L.A. They were calling now a couple years back. Sheriffs and police would show up, and then these niggas be waiting for them and ambushing. They were doing that to the law enforcement in LA, and then they tried to kill that shit. You might be able to find that on the internet somewhere too.
Yeah.
But they tried to dead that shit. They was like, they didn't want to talk about that. But yeah, but you're right. Then and the cop just got his teeth knocked out, beat up by them niggas the other day on the low end. All right. Yeah, some bugged out ass Jake and his nigga woman jumped on the cop. He put on some Brad Knuckles and bust him in his face. Bust all his teeth out his mouth, and then some random Jakes is walking by, just joined him. I said, fuck him. Yeah.
saw that video.
Yeah, so some randoms just walk by. Man, we whoop the cops now, and they yeah. So they, you know, they put them in the hospital.
Some donuts came out of smoke.
Yeah, a couple YNs jumped in. You know, once the YNs show up, you know,
They like, hell yeah.
got
them
one
niggas
for
hear
you.
voices in their head with a mask on, losing their damn mind. With that mumble rap shit. Go ahead, brother.
It's Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Ooh, especially listen to that damn mumble rap. That's it. That man is.
That's demon.
His mind is right. He's smoking a blunt, face covered up, all black. You know, mumble rapping about death.
Yeah.
All right, like that song, "The Big Black" played for me. That said, "You see him with his wife, do it. You see him with his kids, do it. You know, you see him with his grandma, do it." You know, what the fuck is this shit?
Everything sitting on the living room sofa.
Right, this is right. This pretty much. And then Esau doing that shit. Esau back on that murder, death, kill his whole family exterminator. What they call them? Family. What did Capo say? The name?
Family annihilators.
Family annihilators. Esau on that shit. Especially found out his daughter is banging a nigga, which is quite often in America these days.
Yeah.
You know, Becky getting the BBC.
Very common.
All right, in every way imaginable, upside down, sideways, all that. Okay, real talk. Nothing funny about it, man. All right, and so Esau mad. That spirit of vengeance is mad. We are entering. We have, man. Look, this is the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, and it's been there for quite some while, some time.
So I looked up Post Malone.
Right?
He, like you said, these people so dumb. I know his shit is in Utah. He turned his Utah mansion into a bunker. So that if you know where he's at, you can go find his shit easy.
So
you
all-
put it right on the damn internet.
So all them Proud Boy Edomite militias, they know where to go.
Yep.
Okay, that was a video, and a lot of brothers seen it. It's well over 10 years old, about a decade old. With that dude who was sitting in his armory, and he had the camera, you know, on him loading up one of his things, and he just loading up, and he got all these things, and he pull out this big ass shotgun, and then it pans out to his wall, and he got nothing but arms all over his wall behind him. And he said, I like to take this time to thank all you people who prep. And that's when that whole prepping and doomsday bunker shit was real popular. And he said, I'd like to take all this time to thank all you people who prepped and stacked all that food. And then he cocked his shotgun and said, I got the keys to your bunker.
His life is like that.
So yeah, and he got a crew, you know. So it's gonna be crews of men it's gonna be crews of men, you know, going around, going to places that they know got food stacked to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I believe the video you can search it up is like man with biggest armory in America, whatever. It's an old Edomite guy.
Yeah, I think he's in Colorado. I think
He might be. He got tanks and shit. He
Yeah.
said everything's active, like everything is ready.
he a little hat too.
Yeah, he had everything. He got tanks from old wars, Humvee. So then you got these like other Malcolm said, you got people stacking weapons. You got people stacking food. Well, the motherfucker with the weapons is coming to take your
So
food.
what you gonna do against the dude with the tank that roll
A
up?
fucking
He
tank
knocking
bro.
on your door. You gonna come out or
We coming in.
right?
I got a piece of it.
Bring it out, brother.
You know, and that's why, if I may say, that's why the Lord, you know, He wants us to travel light, man. It says, you know, those that have something, they'll go in the house to go get this.
Yeah.
The Lord tell us we got to be on the move. We got to have that mindset to be on the move, traveling light. It says, this is 2nd Ezra 16:46. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. You know, and that's going to be happening, man. People are going to go into people's houses for lack of bread.
I
Man.
got it right here for
Go
you.
ahead.
2nd Ezra 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Excuse me. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. but it's still gonna be bred around. But guess what? People gonna be going in. They whoever got it, man. And trust me, you got guys that they on the A and the B schedule, or B and the C schedule. They be there when you leave, and they see you when you come back, man. That's the only schedule they on. They know who got where everything at, and especially nowadays, niggas so dumb. The social media show you everything in their house.
And they know all the women who live alone.
Yeah.
They know that too. All you independent women that ain't got no man, don't need no man.
Oh yeah.
Which y'all, a lot of y'all, majority of y'all right now starting to change that tune. But you know, it's really too late. But they know who you are, man. Okay. And that dude that was cracking you, but then he found out you was letting somebody else hit. Now he don't want to be with you no more. He ain't coming to protect you, man.
Yeah.
You know, bro. He you know, or the fool that was paying for everything because he was all wanted you, and then he found out that everybody else is smashing too. All right, so you know, he ain't trying to come help you.
You always make sure you get home, Diamond.
I got it. You still got that same shit.
That's it. Oh, I still got it.
Yeah, go to verse 28.
Oh, okay.
That nigga say, so this where you live, Diamond? I follow you home every night. You already know this where you live.
Right. So he been making sure you got home safely.
Yeah.
Until it's
a lot of
time.
money on you, Diamond.
I got it for you.
Go ahead.
This is Second Ezra's. This is Second Ezra's 16 and 28. Of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves, and in the clefts of the rocks, as in an orchard of olives. Upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough.
Right, so it said they're gonna be searching houses with the sword, man. All right, just like Book of Eli.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
Yep.
Them, you know, a lot of people think The Walking Dead. People didn't watch it. You really shorted yourself. It wasn't just some zombie thing. That wasn't what it was about. What it was about, what really made The Walking Dead good, was the different groups trying to survive. And people were the worst thing. There were worse things than the zombies. Then you had some people that was cannibals.
Yeah.
But you had other groups of people trying to take everything that this group of people had. You always have the people who just trying to survive and do the right thing and help whoever came. And then you got those who pretend like they came to help. They came to scout it out. And then they let all they people out there hiding know all the weaknesses and where to get in. They come in and kill everybody and take everything. And they usually will do what? Keep the women and children. Or they would, you know, or in some cases, them dudes just run around screaming claim. All right. You know, they had their little rule. Did you claim it? No, I didn't claim it. Well, then it's his, you know. And they would the one claimed the boy. Claim.
Damn.
I'm like, what the fuck? Right.
That shit wild.
Yeah. So it's get ready to get crazy out here. So that's a really good example how wild it's going to get, you know, when this system collapses. And Esau wants that to happen so that everyone will be ready to bend the knee and take the digital, you know, you dig. But I want to talk about the title of this video, and give you some historical references as to how this is all happening all over again, especially with the removal of, they're trying to remove the 14th Amendment, which made Jake a citizen of this, you know, of this wicked place that we in, and gave you your so-called rights and whatever. They want to take that status away. All right, and they want to go back to basically the miscegenation laws, which happened in 1863. And I'm going to read the definition of that. Hold that thought, Benji. It says miscegenation. I can never say that word, it's hard. Is the interbreeding, cohabitation, or marriage between individuals of different racial or ethnic groups, coined in 1863. All right? There's very important things that happened. This is one of the most important things that happened in America in 1863. All right? In 1862 and 1861. Those are the three of some of the most important things, and I'm about to share them with you. The miscegenation laws happened in 1863. In 1862, the savages, the Indians, the copper-colored, bronze-colored people, and the Negro slaves and the Negro freedmen got, or black people they called them, or Africans they called them, got basically they got coined as Negro. So that came. So they basically millions of natives got labeled Negroes and lost their native status, so they had no rights. All right, and that created that. Still Israelites, but you understand what's happening here. In 1862, the Northern Kingdoms in North America and the so-called African slave were all reclassified as Negro. In 1861 was the birth of the white man. That was the first time in recorded history where people were labeled as white. And the reason of all of this is because of the Bacon's Rebellion. All right? This is the way that they broke it all up. So you had this rebellion, and as a result of that rebellion, 1861, the labeling of white folks. 1862, you put the two portions of the Israelite people in one category. You made them Negroes, so that's where that term came from. All right, and that's in 1862 in Virginia. You can look that up. 2 acts that happened in 1862. Where they made the Native American and they made the so-called slave Negroes. And then in 1863, they made these laws where, because what was happening was that white women, so-called white women, were choosing to be with Negroes over white men during the time of the Bacon's Rebellion. Facts, history. They weren't, so because there was very little of them coming over, and the Edomite men, they weren't choosing them. Kind of like what's going on now. You see how things mirror? This is how I know we're in the same time period. The same souls that were around that time we have to be those same people all over again. All right? Because what's happening now? Edomite women are collectively running toward Jake. Okay? And so that was also happening during the time of this Bacon Rebellion, which was a rebellion where the rich elites, was mostly small hats, the ish, were getting over on everyone else, including other poor, what do they call the indentured servants who were Edomites. All right, so the other broke indentured servant Edomites, right along with the niggas and spiggers they was working with, and the Chinamen. Moab was heavily involved in this too. They all rebelled together against the rich class, and this is what Jeff Bezos and a lot of the wealthy can see coming, and that they're worried about. The reason that they're getting those bunkers. And Benji, if you want to bring your thoughts and bring out what you had, if you found something,
Well,
and Shaman, whatever you had.
It basically just echoes what you already said. It echoed everything you said. It's nothing really to. I'll read through some of it.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Bacon's Rebellion, 1676, changed the racial dynamics of colonial America and influenced the racial hierarchy of the U.S. South up until 1865. And
Until now. He said up until 1865. Until now. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's another change. These miscegenation laws that they didn't want, because why? Jake was popping Esau. All right? His women. All right? And he was mad that his women would choose to be with these brown, bronze, copper-colored men. They were choosing the natives. They were choosing the Negroes. That's what they were doing at that time. Mm-hmm. Before you go further, I'm actually produce a couple receipts. I'm going to my receipt folder and show you the acts. I think I have those 2 acts of 1682. Here it is. Virginia passed 2 acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into the category as Negroes. And then they show you both. All right? Just want to go to that brother see that.
And y'all can look at their information on YouTube too. They got documentary.
I'm gonna bring it to you, brother.
Okay.
Because that's heavy info.
Yep.
Because what this does is it provides a relic of evidence of proof. We're in court right now. Okay, we're in court and we're producing the evidence. We're producing the evidence to plead our cause. Esau doesn't like evidence. All right?
Yep.
Okay? He wants to keep the evidence of what he did. That's why he wants to erase the history and take away the history. And so now he's trying to return you to this status. If you want to read some more of that.
And Trump, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to mention Trump been saying this since he got back in office. He wants to. Now he's not saying the 14th Amendment. What he's saying is he want to get rid of birthright citizenship.
Then that's basically attack on the
Which is
14th,
the 14th Amendment. Exactly. So, and they saying all this is because of the migrants, immigrants. But if they get rid of that, they get rid of us being counted as citizens as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because right now, what was that woman complaining about?
John.
They're trying to make it to where you got to get a passport to vote.
Yeah, James.
A lot of Jake can't afford a passport, or they can't get one because they owe debts.
Yep.
All right, and especially if you owe the unlawful Title 40 child support, you can't get a passport. All right, and we know here at Great Millstone, the Men of the Lord, we know that the voting thing is all it's all a scam, it's all a lie anyway. But but to those who don't understand, it looks really bad, and it also showing you that they're trying the status that they're trying to put you back into. They're trying to go back to this Bacon's Rebellion status. All right. Okay.
I got a proof.
This alliance deeply alarmed the ruling class, who feared that the shared grievances of poor whites and enslaved or free Africans, which are not Africans, but you know what they're gonna say, could lead to future more successful uprisings against their authority. The aftermath of the rebellion, the Virginia elite deliberately implemented policies to dismantle this cross-racial solidarity. They institutionalized slavery as a permanent hereditary condition tied specifically to African ancestry, effectively stripping black people of their rights while simultaneously promoting whiteness as a privileged legal and social category.
Now pause right there. Somebody get Jeremiah 30, 50 and 30, all right, because he said he made it an African thing, which they do in 1682? They made the natives, they called them Negroes too. You see? So now you are both Negroes. Now you can be slaves, because they were snatching up natives and taking them to the South to serve slavery. They were taking natives and putting them on ships and taking them to Europe and to the islands. So now they gave you that slave category. You understand? Read that part again, Baba Kushab.
Calm. Sloppy. In the aftermath of the rebellion, the Virginia elite deliberately implemented policies to dismantle this cross-racial solidarity. They institutionalized slavery as a permanent hereditary condition tied specifically to African ancestry, effectively stripping black people of their rights while simultaneously promoting whiteness as a privileged legal and social category.
So so they promoted whiteness as a legal and social category in 1681. All right, that's when they did it. They had talk of it prior to that, but in 1681, it's the first time in history on a document on a U.S. document where it said the term white people. Whiteness is made up. You are the biblical Edomites. You're red. Yeah. All right, and Ben Franklin spoke about the redness. All right, in his letter from 1751. All right, in paragraph 24, he spoke about that. Go ahead, St. Ben.
It says, by codifying these racial laws, culminating in the Virginia slave codes of 1705, the colonial government created a rigid racial hierarchy that incentivized poor whites to identify with the interests of the elite rather than their fellow laborers of African descent. And you see that today. These dumbass Edomites blame niggas for everything, not realizing, for one, your government is letting niggas like Bezos pay less taxes than you. Yep. The government is doing that.
Yeah, because that's what Bezos was complaining about in the video. We got to stop taxing the citizens now. See, he's afraid. Why are we taxing a nurse $1,000? We should be taxing the wealthy. They can afford it. He's trying to save his own ass. Because he know the people coming for him. All right? And guess what people going to come from him? Ain't going to be dumbass niggas. It's going to be other white folks coming for him.
Egyptian versus Egyptian.
And like you said, this didn't just stop with the Civil War, because actually the whole thing with the Civil War is the same thing with Europe. They only freed the slaves. They didn't free them. They transferred the ownership over for industrial slavery. The only reason that happened is because the poor whites.
Right.
If you have a factory, all right, if whatever industry you're in, if you have this and slavery existed, there's no reason to go get poor whites to work for you because you can just get free slaves. So they only so-called freed the slaves was so the poor whites can have jobs, and they would just give them a little more status than a fucking nigger.
Yeah.
And then that satisfied them.
They gave them, basically, they got front of the line privilege. Niggas had to get off the sidewalk for you. Nigga couldn't look at you. A nigga could no longer fuck your sister. And a nigga couldn't take you to court. So it also incentivized violence against them violence against Jake, because the average white man became immune to legal actions against him when he did violence to somebody of color.
Mm-hmm.
You see, whether even when it came to the other races, because like I said, Moab played a big role in this Bacon's rebellion. Bacon's rebellion, and because there were stories about them as well. As a matter of fact, if you watch that show, I think it's called The Warrior, that was written by Bruce Lee's daughter.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
It's still on.
All right, that was a good show. But yeah, that's a good one to watch. But the same thing was going on. All right, so it goes to show you that if Moab can get your woman, you weak as fuck. Right? And even Moab is getting Edomite. They don't want to be with Edomite men anymore. All right, just like they didn't back then. And so Esau was mad at that because the best, all the pretty Edomite girls was choosing to be with niggas, and they did not like that. Okay, I watched a movie today, some weird shit about Dracula, and the Van Helsing's, whatever it was watching, some weird show I was watching on Netflix, and the family that was coming to see him to, because a brother, something had happened to him, something fell on him, and he had to, cut him open and release some blood or some weird shit to save his life. But they were clearly a biracial family. You can clearly see that, that they were, they looked different. And that they was niggas, but they weren't really niggas. All right? But they was really niggas. Because, they fathers. It is what it is. But the point is that that's just further, even that show, there's evidence, historical referencing the time period, that was the 1860s. All right? And this is what was happening in the 1860s, and this mirroring what's happening right now. Right now, all over TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, ain't nothing but big booty Edomite women in videos, all up in videos with Jake, and then Edomites all on the comment board mad as hell. Yeah. And whether it be with the Northern Kingdom or the Southern Kingdom, it don't matter. Edomites all on the comment board mad as hell, talking shit.
Yeah, be with Raji.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because they are looking at their man as the problem to everything, and they're right.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to Esau. The whole situation. You can't look at a nigga and blame him for your situation. Pookie and Ray Ray, yeah, we got to deal with Pookie and Ray Ray. You don't got to deal with that. So the shit that's going on, the way you being looked around the world as a people, it all goes back to your man. That's why Scripture says they shall call their own tongue to fall upon them. All that see them shall flee away.
Facts. That's why they make sure they post all these these takeovers.
Right.
Which, of course, is some bullshit. But it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. There's a lot worse shit happening, more frequent than that.
You know what? I'm seeing video after video of Edomites getting in street brawls and fights. I got a whole collection of them in my phone right now. So, champing out, just doing wild Edomites. Yeah, Edomites just fighting and calling each other niggas, beating each other ass outside of clubs and shit. A bunch of white boys fighting, calling each other nigga. Yeah. Get that nigga. Bitch nigga. Yeah. And they all Edomites. They all white guys.
Yeah. White is the new nigga.
Right? And so, no kidding. And I got a whole compilation of videos, but they love to promote, the videos with Jake. They'll go out their way to find a video and ignore the thousands of videos of Edomites, all rednecks, just acting fucking chipping out all over the damn place.
They do it when let the fucking Eagles win a Super Bowl. They burning cars, all type of shit, and this is cool because it's the Eagles and it's white folks. When a white team win, them crackers go crazy through the whole city, and it's never no big fucking deal. All right, yeah, okay. they did have one incident where the motherfuckers bought a flamethrower, but outside of that, these niggas is just doing dumb shit, dancing on top of cars, shaking ass. Which is they tweaking. But Esau, it's in my other phone's a screenshot. It was under the video. They put the data from the FBI, the data amount of child rapes, and it's a straight Edomites.
Yeah.
Child rape, child pornography.
And,
It's
and a lot of
Edomites.
it be, and a weird thing with Esau, a lot of that happened with their own children too.
Yes.
Edomite got a thing for their daughters, man.
Oh yeah.
Right, so they do that more than any other race, any other racial category. And there's hundreds of videos, if not thousands, on that topic all over TikTok, Instagram, with Edomites coming out giving you the stats, giving you the FBI stats, and white women giving you the stats that their men are the problem.
White women be breaking it down, man. All right, Esau was still, they leading serial killings, mass murders, all right, and then they'll say, well, 13%, 50%, but they leave out the amount of cases overturned on Jake because they was wrongfully convicted. All right, a lot of times Jake will even confess to a crime they didn't do because they don't have legal fees, all right, to fight against it for real. So it's like, well, I just take this little time.
That happens a lot. Or they're so afraid of being locked up, they'll take the plea, and that's and so they get out. Now you got a record, and you fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
part
right,
of
and so that's what. And so it's like I always say, Esau's the only man I know that cheats his way to the first place. Being first place he want to stand on the podium with the gold, knowing he cheated, but he still want to sit up there and smile like he did.
Talk shit to
and then talk shit to the people who didn't even make it to the podium when he set up the circumstances that kept them from even getting in the podium, or kept them from even being able to compete in the first place. That's his policy. All right, he don't want no competition.
I got a precept. This Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decree, that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widow may be their prey.
And to take away this, what Trump talking about, the birthright citizenship, that's taking away the rights of our people, man.
Bro.
Dapper.
Dapper Dan.
I'm a dapper
It
Dan.
says, and that they may rob the fatherless. And like y'all saying, man, they set up all of these things to make Esau get ahead, but then they always shit on Jake. Jake can't get nowhere in life, man. You can't even walk up the street without an Edomite pulling you over, man. You know, they always behind you, so you can't do nothing. And then they even got Jake cops doing it just as much as Esau.
Shit, worse sometimes.
Yeah, worse.
They said that. Ice Cube said that shit.
God damn, you supposed to be my people. You oppressing me just as much as they.
Yeah,
My gun because it's black.
Yeah. We ain't even do nothing. Oh, I got one to back you up real quick. This is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Right, and they got a term, the pen is mightier than the sword, man. So through their legislation, man, they kill a lot of people. They destroy families, they destroy communities. You got a lot of old people that are losing their houses because of these property taxes, shit that he writes down.
And this is why he's worried.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos sees the writing on the wall. He sees now that, like I said, this Bacon's Rebellion Part 2 in America, that the poor people are ready to rebel against the powers that be, and it ain't gonna be Jake to do it. It's actually gonna be Esau to do it. Well, you have a few tokens that want to be down with Esau, but it's really, these problems are gonna come from other white people.
It was a militia. It was a video. This a few years back. You probably remember it. It was just a couple years back actually. It was like Northeast or something, and they was talking about it ain't the black versus white. We got to come together. It's us versus them. But these was like veterans.
Yeah, I remember that video.
Together. They was like, we got to join together.
And they were actually former soldiers and shit. And they were out in field training. Yeah, so you're gonna have that too. Good shot, brother. Could you grab me? Yeah, you're gonna have that too. But I like you got something else?
No.
Would you hold something?
No.
Yeah, I want to bring this out. This is information that I got earlier from ICR. This was some pretty interesting, because the two things that they use, they use government and then they use Christianity. which I call, what it actually is, white Christian extremism.
Facts.
All right, that's exactly what it is, or extreme white Christianism, extremism, however you want to see it. All right, because that's exactly what it is. Christianism is white extremism. They're one and the same. And it says this was from this information came from it was called the Think Report Experiment and analyst option analysts and essays, but it says thought experience. Racism among white Christians is higher than among non-religious. That's no coincidence. Let me say that again. Racism among white Christianism is higher than among non-religious. That's no coincidence. We've been telling you that Christianism, like them three clowns that approached us yesterday, trying to defend the name of Earth Pig.
3 little Christians.
Right, 3 little pigs.
CLW.
It says, for most of American history, the light-skinned Jesus, the Edomite, Cesare Borgia, this is what it is, call it what it is, conjured up by white congregations. We just gave you the history when they started calling themselves white. We just gave it to you. And all that was attached to this Bacon's Rebellion. And then in 1682, 1681, whiteness was created. 1682, Negroes and natives, natives and African slaves, both Israelites, were classified as Negroes. 1683, miscegenation laws, where men of color could no longer marry, interbreed, or have children with white women. They forced white women to be with white men. And they started doing things like it's because so many white women back then were choosing to be with Jake. Same thing happened today. And so what they did was they made life so difficult for them that they were forced to go with Esau, because they said, well, if you're gonna stay with this Negro and have children with these Negroes, then your children are going to be slaves until they to 21st birthday and shit like that. That's what they started doing to them. They started making life really hard for them. And so the benefits of being white, front of the line, you mean I can do anything to these niggas and they can't even take me to court? The police not even gonna come for me? That's pretty much how they were living. Thus was born the Jim Crow era, all the black codes, etc., and all of it was pushed through white Christian extremism.
So,
okay,
you know what I was reading in that Reddit, and it mentioned the 1705 slave laws.
Yeah.
Can I just read briefly what that was? I just looked it up.
Yeah, but can I read this first? Because it's all attached. Just two more short things. Then I want you that rolls right behind it. It says key public optional data: denial of structural racism. Public opinion polling consistently shows that white Christians are more likely than religiously unaffiliated whites to deny the existence of systematic racism. White Christians, oh no, they get fair treatment, and you don't need reparations. You got welfare. All right. It says specific survey findings, PRRI 2018. White Christians are nearly twice as likely as unaffiliated whites to view police killings of black men as an isolated incident rather than a part of a pattern. White Christians are going to look at it that way. Well, white non-Christians are like, no, that's a pattern. Y'all need to stop this shit. Right? This is telling on Christianism. Christianism is inherently wicked, and it's part of the oppression. It says historical context and legacy. Keep that thought. Don't lose it. Theological justification for most of American history. White Christians, churches, and theology actively legitimize and defend white supremacy, slavery, segregation as a part of a divinely ordained order. Historical practices, both Protestant and Catholic institutions enforce segregation within their churches, forcing enslaved or black members to sit in the back or receive the Eucharist last and preached.
Yeah. And white Edomite Christianism, all right, it did what? They came, they took down the Latins, all right, at the edge of a cross, set them on fire, burned them. We doing this because you're not serving this Edomite God.
13 at a time.
Yeah.
To represent the 12 disciples and the Lord.
Yep.
I forget what they called that thing, but they hung them from it. where you barely hanging, you're on your toes, and you get fatigued, because what happens, they either burned you alive or they hung you. They would, as long as you could stand on your tiptoes, you could breathe. And then when your calves got tired and your feet collapsed, you start choking.
Yeah.
All right, so you have to raise up, and your hands were tied up.
Yep.
So so you just died or slow down until you got so fatigued that you couldn't get back up, and you would just choke to death.
And a lot of times when that's happening, you're watching your child, your infant, get hit against the wall. We got that one picture.
Yeah.
Get hit against the wall while the dogs eat their remains.
Yep.
This is happening by white Christians, by the way.
Yeah.
White Christians justified all the shit that happened to us in slavery, the forced slavery.
And this is why you speak Spanish and Portuguese,
Yeah.
and why you cross yourself up.
Yeah.
All right, speaking to the Northern Kingdom.
Yeah.
This is why you do that, and this is how it came about.
Yep.
All right, and you got forced to worship the Queen of Heaven, which is idolatry and not biblical.
Yeah. That's why the scriptures say Satan made himself as an angel of light. Esau's up here fucking the Mexicans up, telling them you gotta come serve our God. What, I forget the name of the leader. Ariella always bring it out, but he said, "Do you want to go to hell? To go to heaven?"
I had that. Let me see if I
He's
see out that relic.
that Taino
Go ahead, talk about
leader
it.
over there in damn, what that was over there in I think Dominican Republic, Haiti, Hispaniola. They asked him if he don't, do you want to go to hell? He said, I'd rather go to hell.
Now he said is that white guy?
Yeah.
He said, is he gonna be there? Cesare Borgia.
Yeah.
And he said, well, yeah, of course. And he said, well, then I don't want to go where he is.
Yeah, because
Right.
clearly you coming here fucking up everything, killing shit, raping shit, doing all type of just madness. You say this is the name of the Lord? All right. And the way Esau did it wasn't like we taking our land.
Right.
Esau was just on straight bullshit for riches and resources.
Right.
Cain made deals with him, set him up, fucked him up. That wasn't no war. They thinking you coming in some type of peace at one point. They broke every fucking treaty. This man a fucking devil. Then of course they say, well, you niggas, y'all the seed of Canaan. So that's why you enslaved to us.
But then they said we the seed of Canaan, but then they always showed the Philistines as white.
Right.
Every time they showed Canaan, how wait a minute, the Philistines are Canaanites, man. So so on one hand, you made the Negroes Canaan, but then I just saw some bullshit on Netflix, a cartoon of a white David and a white Samson. I mean a white Goliath. And I didn't even watch that bullshit.
Not at all.
So how is that? The curse of Canaan is the excuse you use to enslave an African people who were not Africans at all. But then you turn around and you make the Philistines, who were Canaanites, white people.
Then they say Ham are not the Negroes. In their damn dictionary.
Right.
Yep.
They tell you the truth.
I got a precept. This Proverbs 16:29. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. And they, like you said, they break all the treaties and everything, because Esau is technically our brother. He's the evil twin. And all he do is do the opposite of what the scripture says do, man. Because he don't follow this. And then you made the laws of this land off the Bible. You don't keep any of it. So you just a hypocrite, and you got to get dealt with for all of your crimes that you did.
Now, I got one more thing. They can never tell us which son of Ham we descend from. Physically.
No, they can't. That's a very good point, brother. But here, that's a very good point, God. But here, this is a AI overview, and this was all done by white Christian extremism, or Edomite Christianism. And basically, I just typed in over 100 black towns that were drowned or destroyed. And it says AI overview. Between the Civil War and 1940s, an estimated 100 to 700 independent black towns, settlements in prosperous neighborhoods were purposely destroyed, burned, or forcibly depopulated by white mobs. White Christian extremism. All right, but that's a Christian. White Christians, that's what they are. And you Negroes that follow, they call yourself Christians. You're following Edomite Christianism. You're following white Christian extremists. We just gave you all the evidence and all the receipts to that.
That's right.
It says this deliberate erasure of black wealth, self-sufficiency, and property took place across the country from the South to the Midwest to the American West. So all all white Christians across America participated and or benefited from these violent actions against our people. Historical records detail several notable examples of these destroyed communities. Greenwood District, Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as a Black Wall Street, its thriving 35-block neighborhood was firebombed and leveled by the white mob in 1921, destroying over 1,200 black-owned homes and businesses and leaving 10,000 residents homeless. And Edomites, that means that the judges, the police, all these were all white Christians. They even used some planes to drop bombs, at this time.
First domestic air.
They were all, right. First bombing from planes in America was as an act of domestic terrorism committed by white Christian extremists. Okay, like the Proud Boys today. Rosewood, Florida, 1923. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm just going to rattle them off. OC, Florida, 1921. All right. Seneca Village, New York. All right. I've been to that park. All right, where Seneca Village used to be. All right, and it's funny, at the time when I was there, I had no idea that that had happened. All right. Slocum, Texas, 1910. All right. Now the drowned towns and submerged settlements. In addition to the direct arson and mob violence, many historical black towns were initially flooded and seized for infrastructure, flood control, hydraulic projects. Prominent examples include, and all this, once again, this was done by white Christian extremists. All right. We're talking about Edomite Christianism. Okay, and I hope that vocab, and you apologetics and any of you so-called black Christians are watching, because I would love to hear what you have to say about all this evidence, because this is not hearsay. This isn't hate. Well, actually, it's hate on your half, all right? But this is just factual evidence of what you did, what you support, what you believe in, all right? Oscarville, Georgia. Once again, I'm gonna avoid reading all the details. Kawalaja, Alabama. Vanport, Oregon. Well, I didn't, man. There ain't too many Negroes in Oregon.
They ran them out of there.
All right, now I know why. Okay, and now I understand why Edomite women love niggas up in Oregon so much. They love them. Oregon's right above California, so you always got, busloads of Edomite women coming down to California to go to Sacramento and get with niggas. Now I know why.
They love our Oregon.
All right, clearly. But all weekend. But yeah, man. I mean, how many more examples do you need of white Christian extremism, of hate? But yet they love to project that onto us. And all we do is we bring out the historical facts, and then we bring out the scriptures. And the scriptures say that you're going to have to pay for all these things. Somebody get Revelation 18:6. Now, somebody read James 2:13. You can read it again.
I say, the scriptures call him the man of blood, man. Hey, when you look at, and the Amalek is the top of that. I like to mention the Bolshevik Revolution, and that was him slaughtering Christians. They say
that was an Amalek on Christian. Yeah. That was Edomite on Edomite hate.
Edomite.
It's just like World War II, basically. Yeah. It was really Edomite on Edomite, violence. Edomites is chipping out on each other, shooting tanks and machine guns and machetes and blowing each other up with grenades and shit, and drug a few, dumbass niggas into it. But that was just one big gigantic Edomite kill each other fest. All right.
And they like to call black on black crime. Like when you guys get to chimping out on each other, man, this is World War II, World War III.
Literally.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of people, man.
Yeah.
So estimated 86 million in World War II, and God knows how many millions in World War I. And then all the wars in between. Remember, America turned 250 years old this year. And 214 of those years, America has been at war. And no one's ever attacked America.
Yeah.
So America's doing all the attacking. 214 years of war, of declaring war on people.
Pearl Harbor was an inside job.
Well, damn near everything that happened of relevance was an inside job, including, you know, that 9, you know, that event that starts with 9 and then ends in 2 1s.
Yep.
You all right? That event, okay, inside job, okay, by the same orchestrators of the miscegenation laws of the Baker's Rebellion, the same elites. Bring it out, beloved.
If I may, Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, which that 3.5 days represents from 1619 to 1969, which I think is the 60s. That's when they started to reverse a lot of those laws on paperwork.
Yep.
Those miscegenation laws, which was foolish on Esau's part because that showed that his power was fake. And in 1619, the 50 years earlier, that's where slaves first started to get to Virginia and those colonies and the places that you mentioned.
Con.
But to standing up is what you said is true, but it's going to our biggest been over singing that word right now to the Israelites, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the awakening.
Yeah.
Because Abba Bivens got the true message. Like you said, he didn't know which tribes were the Northern Kingdom. He didn't know which tribes they were as far as, you know, difference between Ephraim and Zebulon and Issachar and so forth. But he knew that they were the Israelites, you know, as well. He also knew that the full gospel, you had to use the Old and the New Testament. Right? You can't have one without the other. It's one book. So you got these New Testament only, Old Testament only, the ones who want to deny, you know, the apocryphal. You need the volume of the book. The Lord told you that it came in the volume of the book. Okay? But if somebody can get that Revelation 18:6, Revelation 6:4.
Revelation 18:6.
Yeah.
It says, Revelation 18:6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double.
Yeah, so, you know, in that cup, you're going to receive that cup of slavery. That's the recompense that Jeff Bezos and these elites fear. Revelation 9:13, I'll call for 6:4 too. Somebody get those. And then somebody get that. Is that Numbers or Exodus 21:16? If a man stealeth a man?
Yeah.
Bible shot.
Exodus chapter 21.
Yeah. It don't matter which order they come out in.
All right. Exodus 21, verse 16. And it reads, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
So you see the finger pointing because you got groups of rabbis. I played a video, last week. It was about 20 minutes of a compilation of videos of rabbis calling white racist Christianism, right? White supremacy, calling them Edom. And they're saying that both the white Christian extremists in both America and in Europe are the biblical Edomites. But then you also now have Rich Tidwell and other Edomites pointing out that the little hats, they doing the Spider-Man meme, right? Yeah. The Christians are pointing out that the little hats, no, they're Edom.
Yeah, the one Edomite gave a breakdown that we've been giving. He broke down Rothschild. He said, which
that's Rich Tidwell. He's also trying to say that the Edomites are, and he tries to use the one word of the corrupted version of Hebrew, which is I don't honor the Assyrian script. This is a corrupt abomination. That whole thing between Adama and Edom, Adamai, all right, Adami. Oh, how the fuck you say that? Adawam, the water, beloved. But the spelling of it is what I was trying to say. The spelling of it, and they try to say that ruddy and red mean the same thing when it doesn't. And they try to use that scripture to basically get around the whole plethora of scriptures that describe the Lord, his people, the Most High himself and his son as being swarthy in complexion. He tried to use this red shit. He tried to say that basically what he's trying to say is that Adam, which the word Adama, which means the ground, and the ground ain't fucking red. Right. The dust of the earth is brown. Yeah. All right? And so he tries to use that one scripture to create a whole doctrine that Israelites are European nations. That's what he's on.
What? That's so dumb.
It's so
In
dumb.
the midst of a war, why is he calling him red based off his complexion? What they got to do with him fighting? He was calling him young.
Exactly.
Basically, when you know the saying "wet behind the ears," do you know what that means? That means you still, when the baby comes out, all right, when the baby comes with the pussy, it got all this blood and wetness on him. Wet behind the ears is saying you a fucking baby. You ain't even dried off yet.
Still got milk on your
You
breast.
still right.
Similac.
So what's behind? Is blood behind your ears. That's the same thing. He's calling him young.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I have a book speaking about Memnon. You know, and as chocolate as Memnon was, because they show you the receipt of him, of Memnon, and how dark he is. And there's nobody in this room that is as dark as Memnon. And we got some pretty dark brothers in here. All right. But Memnon, in this book, was referred, because of his youth, he was referred to as ruddy. All right. Because clearly it wasn't talking about him being red, as chocolate as this motherfucker was. And they have the statue and the images of this man still to this day. And the author referred to him as ruddiness, as ruddy. And then the coldest cut is the one that the God brought out last week from the Zondervan Dictionary Bible. When you look up the word ruddy, it breaks it down to where it says, matter of fact, where is it? Yeah, look up ruddy and read that definition, beloved.
I have a precept real quick for you.
Bring it out.
This is an apocrypha, the additions to Esther. Grab Esther, right? 6 and 5. And she was ready through the perfection of her beauty, and her countenance was cheerful and very amiable, but her heart was in anguish for fear. So this describing her, you know, she looked good. Man.
She was young.
Mhm.
All right, she was young and pretty. She was fine as fuck.
The AI breaks it down, man. We've been saying this for the longest. So I put ruddy means young. They say not quite, right? They say no. Then it says ruddy actually means having a healthy reddish glow or rosy complexion. It is most often used to describe cheeks that are flushed from the cold, exercise, or good health. Then it says the confusion likely comes from history. In older texts, like historical translations of the Bible describing King David, it was sometimes used to describe a glowing, ruddy youth,
Right.
which linked a healthy, rosy complexion with being youthful.
Ooh, now that you read that, you got the definition?
Zondervan's Bible Compact Dictionary, ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews.
So right there is letting you know that ruddy had nothing to, if you're referring it to the Hebrews, it had nothing to do with being rosy skinned, fair complected like a white person. He just gave you, so it couldn't have meant
That youthful glow.
what you're trying to make right, because he just said it was in contrary to the dark skin of the Hebrew. The Hebrews were like you know, they'll say they were olive colors. Well, we know olives are brown or black, and they're green when they're not ready in most cases. So we know that they weren't talking about the greens, and I didn't even eat olives until olives are actually really good for you. I can't stand the taste of them. But you know, but I eat them because they're you know, just to regain and keep my health. All right, and of course, you know, you should be cooking with olive oil over any other oil. All right, that, you know, just a little side note there. But what was that? Revelation 6 and 4,
Yeah.
and then get that Revelation 13 and 9, and we'll wrap it.
This is Revelation 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
Right, and that's talking about Esau, Edom. And once again, part of that sword was what? He read Isaiah 10 and 1 through that policy, all right, through that sword. And then the next thing was through the hateful acts of white Christianism, extreme white Christianism.
Yeah.
All right, this is the tool that they use to rule over the nations, and definitely to rule over Jacob, and made that tumult to hide who we are.
I was going to wait for you to finish. I just wanted to say the Ku Klux Klan is heavy in the Christian. They supposed to be Christians,
They're
right?
all Christians.
That's why they burn the cross.
That's the point.
Pure white Christian.
That is the point. The Proud Boys and all these different groups, and the Nazism, they're all mostly Protestant and Catholics, and they're all Christians. So everything that I read, with those receipts, when it said Salaki, brother, when it says historical practice No, the theology justification for most American history, white Christian churches and theology actively legitimize and defended white supremacy, slavery, segregation as part of divine order. So they support that. Racism among white Christians, all right, white Christian extremism, all right, is higher than among non-religious. That's no coincidence. So non-religious white people are not as racist as religious. So those who say I'm a good Christian, what they're telling you is that in most cases they hate niggers.
Facts.
They hate anybody that's not so-called white.
Pure white Christian.
Okay?
So like,
Yeah,
I was just saying, it's easy, just type in civil rights, and the same racist white motherfuckers claim to be Christians and shit.
Yeah.
There it is, man.
What are you talking about? The Catholic Church, or you talking about so-called, which it's the same thing, you know? Yeah, cause you know, you Christians, you really come from Catholics, you come from Catholicism, all right? Whether you're talking about both of them, they've never in history come in, what is that movie? I Come in Peace.
And they full of pedos on top of that.
Yeah.
So on that, because the statistics shows you, he already brought it out, most of the pedo activity comes from white Christians.
Right.
You know, the priests, the pastors, and you know, and everything is negative.
In the name of God.
Yeah, that's a damn.
All in the name of God.
Mhm.
All right.
That's wicked.
That's so heavy. It happens so much with the damn Catholic priests.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of the joke. That's the joke now.
Mhm.
For decades, it's been a damn joke.
Yeah. And they got a costume where, you know, people dress up like the Catholic priests. And with the big robe on, and it's got a little kid under the robe.
It's a statue of that.
Yeah, it's literally a statue.
Right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, of a kid blowing off. See, that's what. Look, man. When you talking
So,
about, like,
yeah, so they
Under the robe, sucking.
yeah, so it's
Pretty
so
big.
you walking around with a drink in your hand, laughing it up at a Halloween party, with this robe on, with this, you know, look like a little kid is under your under your garment, and so that's the white Christian way, man.
yeah,
You know, and you can Google it, look it up. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it, man.
And
That's
then
another
all
reason.
the natives that the boarding
Yeah.
schools, what the Catholics did to
Yeah.
them, all the damn bones and shit.
yeah.
Hey, look, ain't no way in hell Christianism is fucking correct. It's full of wickedness, man.
And you got niggas following that, and you know what? The Lord, that's why you the 2/3, man. And you know, we thankful for you 3 pigs yesterday. You niggas that want to follow, right? You piglets that want to follow, you know, Earth Pig. All right.
Yep.
You know, we try to give you the breakdown of the word, you know, J-E and S-U-S, you know, and the fact that the letter J didn't exist at the time when, you know, till 1,500 plus years after the Lord, you know, was gone. The letter J was created. That couldn't have been his name, dummy.
But
That alone,
love.
that alone should make you wait a minute. It didn't exist, and then but instead of they didn't hear that, you know. It's like trying to tell me that somebody drove and cars haven't been invented yet, but you trying to argue the fact that he drove from here to there. It's like, but cars weren't around yet. No, nigga, he drove, but cars weren't invented yet. You dumb.
You have to leave.
So exactly, man. Hey, so with that, you know, we're gonna give all praises, all honor, glory, and to
Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash,
Kwam Yasharala,
Kwam Yasharala,
Ba Ba.
Abba.
Fuck you 2/3 ass nigga.
2, 1 + 1 is really 3.
Man, look, look.